what's up? It's the Dead End Road show. I'm just jumping into it because we have a metric shit ton of things here. And we have actually like segments. Segments are back. What do you know? Do we just want to jump right in to the segment that doesn't actually have a name because I can't come up with a name?
Yeah, that sounds good to me because I don't know anything about this other than what you wrote down here, and I've been looking forward to hearing this since you posted this week. So
yeah, so it's basically just a continuation of so last time I scarred you with the RuneScape Tradwife.
Yes.
So I went deep into the archives, and I had to really do some searching. So I found some more screenshots that I have of things that I have seen out there on the old the dating sites. And some of these are really old. I don't even know how old some of these are. Of just some things that I've seen. And so yeah, I've got some things to share. And actually I didn't put this in here, but should I do that? Okay. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I won't keep it in the edit if it's too uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
But I do feel uncomfortable about like sharing other people's shit and like sort of making fun of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll basically, this is a long story short. I'm also going to read my little thing as well.
Can I
ask
a question?
Sure.
The stuff that you're concerned about reading, is this stuff that's like on somebody's profile, or are these messages that you've received?
No. These are just profiles that I see.
Oh, all right. I mean, that's technically like public stuff.
Right, but I still feel like, you know, these are people putting themselves out there, you know? It's
True.
like so I feel like fair's fair. I will share mine as well, you know.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
People in glass houses and all that kind of shit.
Luckily for me, I don't currently have a dating profile, so I'm exempt from this.
So I don't really use them because I find them uncomfortable. It feels like going through a catalog of people, and it's just the whole setup is weird. It's really foreign to me still.
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever I remember that they exist and I'm bored, I'll go on them and scroll through, and then I find weird shit that people say, whether they're doing it intentionally or not.
Now,
and sometimes I save it.
Right. Are these people that you are like matched with on the site?
These are these are like people that I see in my feed, and so like they all work like Tinder now, where you can swipe one way or the other to potentially be matched with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the one I use mostly is OkCupid, because that's like the one where you can like put a lot of information out there, and so that's where you can really see some stuff.
Okay.
So that's the one I'm usually on, because Tinder people sometimes just usually like put a link to their fucking Instagram and things like that.
Right.
And so I need more to go off of. I need some information. So anyway, but yeah, if this ends up being too, if I get too embarrassed, like I'm not gonna read my whole thing. I'm just gonna read the about section, because that's usually where like the stuff that I'm pulling from is saving.
Sure. And for anybody else, you'll just like switch up the names, right? Or you won't even have to say names.
I'm not gonna say names. I don't even think I have like names saved in these screenshots. So I wouldn't even know them if I wanted to, but I wouldn't do that anyway.
Right.
So this is my little about section. I'm quite bad at this. I'm sure you'll agree. I haven't taken a good photo since the 4th grade yearbook. No, you can't see it. It's in a museum next to that one of the fat baby Jesus and the other Hieronymus Bosch where everyone's on fire. So yeah, so that's my little about thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some lame joke, okay? So that's what I have.
Oh, that's everything.
That's just the about section. I go on like OkCupid has prompts. I could read my whole thing if I really.
You brought this on yourself. I didn't. It's up to you.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So like, there's a prompt that says, what am I doing with my life? And I live and die under the whole nebulous digital media umbrella. There's a thing for talent, and then the prompt is, I could probably beat you at. And here's where I just go off. Here's where I'm like, you know what? Just screw this shit. I could probably beat you at making soup. I make a mean soup. That's it, my claim to fame. So if there was some sort of rom-com slapstick soup-off competition going on between us with judges and a scoring rubric, the whole deal, I would beat you, hands down. Really want to get that point across. Hell of a soup maker. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then you could just list your favorite books and movies and shit, and so, you know, I list that shit.
I don't know if... I'm not sure I know your favorite movie.
I don't even think I put movies.
Oh, okay.
What does that tell you?
Yeah, but what did you put for like books and stuff?
Neil Gaiman, Joe Hill, Ottessa
sure.
Moshfegh,
Yeah.
Thomas Pynchon, Gillian Flynn, William Gibson. And then music is like, you know music.
Yeah. Okay.
TV, Always Sunny, Nathan For You, You're the Worst, Twin Peaks, Curb, BoJack Horseman, Serial Experiments Lane, Monogatari. Like, you know, like it's, yeah. So like that's pretty much it.
Okay, so you're definitely going for like, you know, like witty, you know, like sort of like not taking it too seriously, you know, a little humor thrown in.
Yeah, sure. You know, yeah. So that's what I got going on. So now I feel like I have license to be mean to other people. Now this one, I don't know how old ago, like, or how long ago this was, like, cause I had to go back into the archives, cause some of these are probably from like 2017. All right, so this is from somebody's aspirations section, and this is like all I saved. What I'm doing with my life: listening to Kanye, thinking about Kanye, defending Kanye's dumb ass, trying to be a physician assistant in my limited spare time. Being a Kanye fan is a full-time job. I collect candles and wall calendars.
Like Kanye candles and...
It doesn't specify.
Oh, okay.
And I just thought that was funny because it just reminded me of the Joyce Manor song.
Yeah.
I think that he's great. I think he's the best.
Man, I mean, this person is really stoked for the new album next week.
I guess so, but the thing is that like this is a really old screenshot.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I know what they're up to
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Like, they're really having a good summer.
Yeah.
I wonder if they went to the big stadium album release party.
My brother was telling me about this. So he's like living in a stadium or something?
I don't know about living in it. I just know that he like filled an entire like football stadium for like a listening party for his album. And then like I also heard that one of the tracks features Jay-Z, which is apparently a big deal because they haven't like worked together in a long time or something. But then I heard that Jay-Z had just recorded his parts of the song like hours before this listening party. Which is pretty wild.
Well, because doesn't Kanye do the thing where like he just constantly patches his albums?
I think so, yeah. Because he already had to like delay the release by like a week.
Yeah, that's his thing, didn't he? Yeah, he did that for his last album where he kept patching it.
Yeah, so I had no idea. It almost
became like a weird thing where like previous versions of the album were like rarities almost.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's where the poopity scoop thing comes from.
Ah, right. So you said he's living in the stadium now?
Yeah, he's got a box, like, you know, like one of those, I guess owner's boxes, like in a stadium that he either owns or leases or whatever. And so he was just apparently just living in it. This is according to my brother. I didn't follow up on this. And yeah, he's just been kind of bumming it in the stadium.
Okay.
And so you know those commercials, those really bad NFL commercials where like the player will act like the stadium is their home,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're the one that's mowing the lawn, and then they're bringing groceries to the stadium.
I think there's even
like,
one.
haha.
I think there's even one where like one of the players' mothers delivers like Campbell's soup to him at the stadium.
Yeah.
Speaking of soup.
Sure. Yeah. And it's like Kanye like saw that, and he's like, you know what? That sounds pretty cool. I'm actually going to do that.
Yeah. It fits with his whole thing. I mean, he's got a process.
Is he like living off of soft pretzels and popcorn? Like what?
Oh, so you're saying that the concession staff has to show up to this empty stadium to serve?
Well, I don't know. Kanye? Like what? What is he? How is he surviving? You think he's leaving for every meal?
He's probably getting shit delivered to him.
Yeah, I guess it's very strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had no idea that was happening. I just knew he had a couple of listening sessions there.
Yeah,
didn't know he hadn't left.
I guess. My brother could just be fucking with me, which would be very funny.
Yeah.
The best thing is that it's believable. It's like, oh yeah, sure, he's living in the stadium.
Oh yeah,
right.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't question it.
I don't even know, like what stadium is it?
I forget. I want to say
LA?
I want to say in Georgia, but I could be totally wrong about that.
It could be anywhere. Where in the world is Kanye San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one's not going to play as well on the audio format, but this is just a screenshot of a really bad catfish, where they it's a screenshot of a screenshot because they took a screenshot of their Google search for black girl's mohawk, and then it's a picture of a black girl with a mohawk, and it's got like the AT&T iPhone in the corner, and I could see their battery percentage and what time it is, and then like the Google image results at the bottom. So they didn't bother to crop the photo before they made this fake profile. So they just did a search for black girl's mohawk.
Didn't even go to the second page of the search results.
Oh, I don't know, because they zoomed in on one photo, but it still shows the search.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's fun. Okay, this one is a message. This is a message, and I do have their name, and I'm not going to reveal their name. This was not actually sent to me. This was sent to somebody else, but it was shared with me. This is really. Your smile is so beautiful. Want to let me luridly stare at it from time to time while we play Overwatch and slay bods? 420 friendly. I my skin is crawling.
Oof, man.
My skin is crawling.
Was this at least from back when Overwatch was good?
I think so. That shows you how old the message is. And I can see the person, I see their profile picture,
mm-hmm.
and it makes it worse. Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah, I mean, oof. It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where hopefully that person, if they look back on that a few years later, they're like, what was I thinking?
Yeah. 420 friendly?
Ugh.
Okay. Now this one has a lot. There's a lot to it. Okay. Just a chill girl trying to save the environment and make Black Lives Matter, and I try to get involved with social justice causes when I can to help. Looking to start some fun with some food, bong rips, and TV. I don't like to waste time by beating around the bush. I host. You have to be cool with my parents' house. Only here for hookup / FWB, friends with benefits. Prefer black but open-minded. Jewish and want to explore Jewish black race play. Any ideas? Been called names for being N-word lover. 420 friendly. Could be short or long term. Which pick of mine do you like best? Things I like. A man that takes over in the bedroom. Slapping, spanking, choking. Now, There's a lot to take in here.
There really is, yeah.
It starts off pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, try to get involved with social justice causes when I can.
Yeah, really good values there.
It's like, you know, being honest. It's like, you know, I live with my parents. What are you gonna, you know? It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then being open, like, you know, I'm just here to hook up. It's like, okay, yeah. And it's like, prefer black. It's like, okay.
It's when we start taking a turn here.
And it's like, want to explore Jewish black race play. Like, okay. Like, man, it's just rough. It's just some rough stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels racist.
Mm-hmm. It feels like exploitative.
But like, yes, but like it's fetishistic racist.
Yes. Especially they threw in that like N-word thing there.
Yeah, all they did was they censored the I.
Ooh, oh, that's not nearly enough. Not nearly enough.
Yeah. It's like, okay, cool. You got some fetish stuff, but it's like, no, your stuff is.
It's almost.
I don't even.
It's almost like they were baiting you in with the first couple sentences. Oh, I'm socially conscious, and these are my priorities, okay, cool. And I care about this stuff. And then once they have you there, then they really open the door.
Then it's like, no, I'm just looking for black dudes. It's like, oh, okay, all right.
Yep.
It's like, fine. Yeah. Is that the last one? Oh, that was the last one. Okay. So yeah, that was the last. That was the last one I have for now. I have more. I have to find them.
Yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that.
Okay. Yeah.
I hope that's a recurring thing.
I need to come up with a segment name. Because I have in the notes Dating the Dead, but that's sounds like either I or the people that I'm running into are necrophiles.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it could be Dating is Dead because
Dating is Dead.
Because that's kind of like the tone of what we're going for here.
Yeah. Maybe that. Yeah. If anybody's got any ideas, yeah.
So I didn't know what this segment would entail other than it would be about dating. So I saw this TikTok and I linked it there. I don't know if you watched that or not.
I did. Well, yeah, because then did you see the follow-up?
No, I didn't know there was a follow-up.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't... Should we play it? It's literally just a dude reciting the Huey Lewis in the News bit from American Psycho.
Yeah, just to a random woman.
Just to a woman that's sitting there, and she's like, what the fuck is this dude talking about?
Yeah.
And then he says, I have to go return some videotapes. So today I was up. There's something in the cosmos. There's something in the collective unconscious. For days that we record, I just awaken at the ass crack of dawn, and then I just see things. Okay, so our friend of the show, Todd Michael Schultz, was back at it again. I was up at like 6 a.m. today.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe for the West Coast, that means that would be 3 o'clock because that's how math works. He was on the Bret Easton Ellis account again. And this was not originally included. This happened early this morning. He tweeted a weird advertisement for something called Superior Home Remodeling. Superior Homes are the best kind. Give Superior Home Remodeling a try. And then he gives their whole address, their email address then after that, and then their phone number, and then also their website. It's like, okay. So immediately people are like, okay, is he hacked? Like, this is weird. And then he quotes that tweet, and then he gives an LIC number. Is that like, I don't know what that is. Is that like a licensed contractor number or something?
Sounds like it could be.
And And he gives out that number. I don't know what that is. I don't want to like. So then he has another tweet here. And it says, "Be smart with your roof." And it says call and then a phone number. And then he has another like picture with an advertisement. And then somebody in the comments quickly points out that the number in the advertisement is not the same as the number that he has in his tweet. Somebody says that they left a message, and people are just like, why are you hacked? You know, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody says, "I admit I've been stupid with my roof and now feel like I'm part of the roof problem." Because he's like, you have to be smart with your roof.
Uh-huh. And this is all happening at 3 a.m?
Thereabouts, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I believe they're in the West, like they're LA, like that's their whole vibe is the LA thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then he retweets a Paul Joseph Watson, a far right conspiracy theorist.
Why does everybody have 3 names in the story?
I don't know. Something about Google co-founder Larry Page and him buying the Fiji Islands or something. Okay, so then he does that. And so then he tweets, "Does everyone understand? Fix it up." Okay. Then he tweets, "Don't believe media companies, lawyers, or frantic people. If something really happened, they will have a detailed and substantive story to prove where they are." What does that fucking mean?
Yeah, am I supposed to be following any of this? Because I have no idea. What's
there's nothing here. He says, "Don't believe frantic people." There's a frantic person, and they're tweeting from this account. Okay. So then somebody had sent to the Bret Easton Ellis account a snippet of a TikTok. Actually, I could play it.
Okay.
"You're sick. You need help."
Okay.
It didn't play for me, but I'm sure it.
Oh,
yeah.
You can't hear that?
No.
All right. Well, it's a girl or a woman. She sounds like she has a French accent, but that's just me speculating. She's crying and she says, "You're sick. You need help." Okay, and that was just it's like a screen. It's a screen share of TikTok. I don't know if it's probably not the full TikTok, but that's the clip that was sent to the Bret Easton Ellis account. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then he quotes that tweet and says, "This is why Hollywood is so terrifying. People will go to any lengths to make up lies to protect themselves. This video makes absolutely zero sense, I promise." And then in all caps, "I am gay."
Okay.
And then he replies to that and he says to himself, "This is an absolute egregious act of defamation that I, Todd Michael Schultz, will actively pursue. First, what is your name? I have never seen you before in my entire life. You don't even ring a bell." Like, what?
All right.
What?
Yeah, like there's like drugs at play here or something, right?
I have to think so. This feels like some cocaine shit.
Yeah.
And so then the last tweet was the guy that said, "I admit I've been stupid with my roof." So then he quotes that and says, "That was my point. Fix it." What is this? Is this like some weird ARG?
Man, yeah, I feel like I'm missing something really fundamental here that's to understand any of this.
People are like, "I don't even understand what the video is." And then he replied, "I can only assume it's what they call an obfuscation or a joke. Either way, kudos on the play." Like, what?
It's like he's turning into a character from a Bret Easton Ellis novel. It's like maybe he's been around the guy too much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's bizarre. So anyway, that's what happened. 6 a.m.
The roof is on fire.
He's back at it again. Yeah, something happens in the ether that awakens me. It's like, hey, you got to see some shit.
Mm-hmm. You have that sense, that spidey sense, but for just like creepy internet dudes.
Yeah. Speaking of, this isn't going to be a full Dead Letters, but I do want to give a quick shout out to, where is it? Oh, here it is. This also happened this morning. It's been a very busy day. So yes, this isn't a full Dead Letters. We just got a comment this morning, and it might be spam, but it might not be. On episode 15, this is from Kaiser the Redbeard. Great upload, DeadEndRoad. I smashed the thumbs up on your video. Maintain up the really good work. So yeah. So if that's not spam, thank you.
Yeah, I love the words of encouragement.
Yeah. And if it is spam, thank you to our robot overlords.
Yeah, but either way, we're definitely going to maintain it up in here, so...
Yeah, we gotta pump up the jams, you know.
The roof is on fire.
Yep. So yeah. And if you want to send us more words of encouragement or perhaps death threats, video at deadendroad.co.
Or if you want to share with us, your, your dating profile to be scrutinized.
Sure. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Or you can, post shit in the YouTube comments. Okay, so I mentioned it at the end of last week's show, if anybody stuck around for the very end. I have some problems with Funimation, the anime streaming service. So this is just going to be me grinding an axe for 25 minutes, but I feel like I need to, because it's bizarre, like what they're like offering, and they like think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna try out Funimation, because they have a bunch of exclusive shows that are not available on Crunchyroll, which is usually what I subscribe to. I was subscribed to Verve, which had Crunchyroll, and the shows that are not on the Funimation's Hulu partnership, where they get some anime on Hulu. So I was gonna try out the free trial or whatever, and if it was fine, I would subscribe for a little bit. So I tried out the free trial of Funimation, and first off, my new credit card didn't work. So then I had to switch to a different card. But then I get a thing from, like, a notification from my card app saying that it was charged, which is weird because the free trial didn't end yet. So I shouldn't have been charged anything. And then I look and it charged me twice, actually, for a card that didn't work. That was weird.
So, like, it declined you the first time. Did you try a second time?
I tried a bunch of times.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I thought it was something, because I used a promo code too.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried a bunch of times.
Yeah, so they ended up charging you multiple after all that.
Yeah, well, I don't think it should have been charged at all, because it shouldn't have been charged until the end of the free trial.
Right. Yes, very true.
So that was annoying. Because their interface was also, like, really slow. Like, their payment processing, like, everything was loading slow. And I was also worried that, like, I was on, like, a some kind of phishing site or something like that, just because of the way everything was loading so poorly.
Oh, wow.
I was just like, is this... I kept checking the URL. I was like, is this the real site? Is it really this bad? So that was that. And I didn't even find out that whole fiasco until later. I was already annoyed that it was not, I couldn't just get the free trial, like, easily enough.
Yeah, I should say, like, I did sign up for a trial around last October, and I didn't have these issues. Yeah, so that's surprising. Yeah,
so then I'm, like, finally using the app. The The UI is really bad on Android TV. But like that's whatever. Like hardly anybody makes a good Android TV app.
Mm-hmm.
The user interfaces are all over the place. It's like, whatever. It's like as long as the content is there, it really doesn't matter. You get over it. The real problem with Funimation is that their video quality is absolute dog shit. For whatever reason, some new releases are not in full HD 1080p. But I think they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I was getting episodes of shows that had like just finished airing, or shows that are like maybe a year old, were in 540p, like standard definition. And then the weirdest thing was that the show I was watching, or trying to watch, some episodes were in 540p, and then later in the season they would be in 1080p, and then the last few episodes would be in 540p.
Yeah, it's like impossible to make heads or tails of this. Like, why some are like that, why some aren't. Like I've watched some Funimation stuff through Hulu, and I remember last year I was going to watch Attack on Titan, and I started out with the dub version, which on Hulu was in standard def. But then they also, right next to it, had the sub version, which was in high def.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like,
or actually, I might have that
this
backwards. It was probably, I think the sub was in standard def, and then the dub was in high def. Either way, one of them was like...
It's impossible to keep straight.
Yeah, it's significantly lower quality, and I just don't know why.
Yeah, and then even... in this one, like, this is the same season I was looking at, and this is like subs, because I was trying to watch the subs. Some episodes 1080p, some episodes 540. So like I'm like trying to understand this. So I'm like, well, maybe it's an issue with, and like I'm on a wired connection. There's like no excuse for the connection to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, maybe it's just an issue with the Android TV version. Like I'll have to Chromecast or something. So I tried the mobile version. And no, it was the same thing. And then I'm like looking at like they didn't have Demon Slayer, which is like the biggest show out there right now. They didn't have that in 1080p.
By the way,
like,
after you told me that, I did go on Hulu and I tried the first episode of Demon Slayer on there.
Yeah.
Looks like high def.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Of
course. Everybody else has it in high definition. Netflix has it. Crunchyroll has it. It's probably also on Hulu. Like, that show's everywhere.
Yeah, but so they're not getting it through Funimation?
Oh, I'm just guessing because that show's literally everywhere. I haven't checked.
I see.
I know for sure that it's on high def on Crunchyroll and Netflix.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
None whatsoever. So then I went to look at a show that was listed at 1080p. So I'm like, okay, let me watch this and like see. It's like maybe it's just listing at 1080p when it's not, or maybe it's listing 540p and it's actually high def or something like that. The 1080p quality was absolutely awful. Like, just awful. The bitrate is atrocious. It might not as well be 1080p. Like, it doesn't matter if the bitrate is so awful that everything, like, there's artifacting and, just like ghosting. Like, it looks awful.
Yeah, like whenever there's motion and stuff, it'll just like pixelate.
Yeah, so it's like, well, what's the point of it even being in high def, which is, I guess, what their stance is. It's just bizarre, and it's like I care about. It's not that I like need to have the highest quality possible. I only care if like that's what the intended format of whatever I'm watching is supposed to be. Like the original Bakemonogatari was in standard definition. So, and it looks fantastic in standard definition.
Yeah. There
are older shows that were created for that resolution and that aspect ratio, and they look fantastic. But if it's made to be in widescreen high definition, then that's how I want to see it.
Yeah, because you're dealing with detailed animation, and when this happens, you're losing out on some of the art that's there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm trying to watch a show from the production company Shaft, who also does Monogatari, but I need to see that in the highest quality possible. They have the best artists in anime, like the way that they draw backgrounds and used mixed art styles. And mixed media, and like they used photography within anime, and like what they do is like incredible. Like they're the best out there, and so it's like, no, I need to see that in the way they intended it to be, and I need the highest quality possible.
Yeah.
So it's just mind-boggling that like they sell a service like this. And that they have exclusive shows where like this is, aside from Blu-ray releases after a show is finished airing, like these are the only ways you can get these shows, at least out here, without resorting to piracy. And if you care about quality, when you pirate it, you're actually getting a better experience with less hassle than you do if you're doing it the legal route. And it's just an absolute joke.
Yeah. And Funimation might be the worst offender of this that I've seen, but like it's not the only one, because I remember for a while HBO, people would prefer the like the Amazon rips of their shows because they look better.
Yep. Yeah. For the longest time, the HBO rips were awful. And that came to a head during that Game of Thrones episode where it was just darkness.
Yeah, in the final season.
Yeah, where you already couldn't see shit, and then HBO's streaming quality was so absolute garbage that the artifacting, it looked like there was 4 pixels on screen.
Yeah, and then you had like people who worked on the show were like going on on Twitter and being like, "No, it's your TV settings."
Yeah, and it's like nah, dude. Like I had the Amazon rip, which was a higher bit rate, higher quality. I'm in a darkened room. I have a color calibrated 4K screen. It's like, nah, dude, no. Like that scene was shot badly enough, but like it just exposed like how poorly HBO, how low their quality was.
Yeah.
And then HBO Max didn't have 4K at launch at all.
Nope. The HBO Max app on Roku is still terrible, because they didn't have it until like last December, and it was clearly just like ported over from somewhere else, from like a different platform without much thought given to it. Like last night, I was watching an episode of a show, and I backed out of it like halfway through to do something else and returned to it later. And when I returned to it and pressed play, it just puts on a different episode entirely of the show. It says I'm watching the one that I'm, intending to watch, but it's playing a different episode of the show.
Right.
So it's just a mess, and it loads very slowly, and it's, it's a really bad UI for Roku.
Yeah.
Especially because it, they had held back on getting it on that platform. The dispute that lasted like 8 months.
Yeah, that's insane. It's like I can get over a bad UI. I dealt with the ancient Hulu on Android TV until they updated it finally after like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a lot of the Android TV apps use just like the stock Android TV, where it's like the menus on the left side, and like there's the squares on the right side, And it's like, I can deal with that. But it's just like whenever the product itself is like this bad, it's just, dude, I have to steal your shit. Like, I'm trying to give you money and I have to steal your shit.
Yeah, like the difference here is like I still watch HBO through that app. Like, I get over the issues there with the interface. I still watch the stuff on there, but you can't even do that with Funimation. It's impossible.
No. Yeah, it's really depressing. And it's like I've been a Verve subscriber for, I looked at my thing since like 2017. And I had Crunchyroll before that. Like the standalone, and then because the whole thing was that I was looking to probably just go back to Crunchyroll because I wanted to see like the pricing difference, because Verve is basically just Crunchyroll now anyway. And so if I switch back to Crunchyroll, I can just save a couple bucks. Because that got scaled back, because the golden age of Verve was whenever it had Crunchyroll, Funimation, Shudder,
Mubi,
which
I still subscribe to this day. It's one of my favorite streaming services.
It had the Nicktoons, whatever.
Yeah,
like all rolled into one.
Yeah, it's sort of the current equivalent to that. Is actually like AMC Plus is the closest you can get to that. Because AMC Plus bundles together a lot of like niche things that they own. It's like, it's AMC stuff, it's Sundance, it's IFC, it's Shudder, and I think maybe even one more. So it's like basically everything but the anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, Verve was incredible back in the day.
Yeah, it was something else. And then at the time, I couldn't even spin off into like just getting Shudder on its own because they didn't have an Android TV app.
Right.
And I was like, well, you know, like I was watching it because I had it, not, you know.
I mean, I have it currently, and I'm very rarely use it. I'll probably ramp up again around Halloween time because I usually do like a month or two of just mostly watching horror stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I had to go through the Funimation list and see like what exclusives they had, and then make a list of like what I had to download, because it's just like, okay, all right. And then I like canceled the free trial like immediately, and it's like, all right, I'm already uninstalling this app.
Did you get your refunds back?
I haven't even checked because I honestly don't even know if they went through. Because. But yeah, like just the idea that they like even showed up, like they shouldn't have even shown up yet,
right?
As charges.
You didn't even make it 2 weeks on this platform.
Yeah, like this was the same day. Like these charges showed up, and I'm not even through my week of a trial. Okay, I think they did go away. But yeah. It's ridiculous. But if anybody does have Funimation and they don't mind the shit quality, actually no, that's not true. All right, so if anybody wants a good anime recommendation, and they don't mind stealing it from Funimation, or if they want to buy the Blu-rays because it's probably out on Blu-ray right now, Pretty Boy Detective Club is very good.
Well, I'm glad it worked out in the end, in some fashion.
Yeah,
you get to see it.
I just had to be a filthy pirate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I used them for about a month or two to watch a couple things last year. Didn't run into these issues. I guess like when did the Sony purchase happen? Or were they? I forget. Like, was Crunchyroll or Funimation already owned by Sony? Like, which one did they acquire recently?
Sony already owned Funimation.
Oh, okay. So nothing really changed there.
No, not on. It shouldn't have changed on Funimation's end.
Okay.
And so then they bought Crunchyroll.
Isn't it kind of weird that they're they own these two different streaming services with exclusive shows on each one, and they're both like entirely separate still?
Yeah, well, it's got to do with licensing.
Oh, does it?
It has to.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same thing because Crunchyroll was owned by Warner. And so they were going to move some stuff to HBO Max.
Yeah, and they do still have a small collection of stuff on there.
Yeah, because that was the other thing, was that Verve was getting stuff siphoned off to HBO Max as well.
Right.
And like also all the other stuff, like the Nicktoons obviously went to Paramount and, you know, things like that. But yeah, they acquired Crunchyroll and they haven't done anything with it yet.
Yeah, it's like you're almost hoping they will soon, because if that means they can like spawn something else out of it and just like get rid of Funimation as it currently stands, you know?
Yeah, obviously the dream is that they combine them and it's, you know, it's just one goddamn app.
Yeah.
And it's like the pricing on both is decent enough. It's like if you're like really into anime and you subscribe to both, it's not too bad. Because Funimation was only like $7 or whatever. And Crunchyroll is like $9, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're like really into both, like you're really into anime and you get both, that's not too bad.
And there is a free tier as well, right? Of I think both of them.
I know there is for Crunchyroll, but so it's like ad supported.
Yeah.
And you just don't. I don't think you get shows the same day that they air. But that usually isn't a problem for me.
And I was gonna say, I think on Crunchy, the free tier, you don't get high def either, but that wouldn't really matter.
Right.
That wouldn't really matter on Funimation.
Right. Yeah. That's the other thing I checked, because I was like, wait, so like, do I not get high def on the free trial? Like, I was trying to come up with any kind of rationalization for why it looked like dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just bizarre.
Yeah, very.
So that's my Funimation rant. So it is gonna be Persona's 25th anniversary this year, and Atlas is teasing lots of announcements that are gonna be taking place throughout the second half of this year and next year, starting in September. And so, of course, there's lots of speculation about what they're going to be. And there's all kinds of promotional artwork, things of that nature. Promotional artwork with all the protagonists of games 1 through 5. And, of course, lots and lots of merchandise. One of the reveals got leaked. And it is a weird mobile game called Codename X, which is a mobile game inspired by Persona 5, made by Perfect World Games. And so it has not actually been officially unveiled, but it was leaked.
Are you familiar at all with these developers?
Nope, not at all. I thought Perfect World was like an old PC game from like the 90s. But no, I don't know anything about this game or that developer. No idea.
Interesting.
But if the announcements are in line with whatever the fuck that is, people are going to be very disappointed.
Yeah.
And the only thing in this visual for the game that seems quote unquote inspired by Persona 5 is that the anime dude is wearing a mask.
Well, I mean, is this necessarily like the headliner? Like, we don't.
No. The obvious headliner, they have a timeline of events, and obviously the last one is an autumn 2022 announcement.
Mm-hmm.
It is abundantly clear that autumn 2022 announcement will be a Persona 6 tease. If people are expecting a Persona 6 reveal or anything more than a tease, they are going to be disappointed and mistaken, because that game will not be coming out for a very long time. So they'll tease that game in next year.
How many years between 4 and 5?
So I don't know the exact. I'd have to do the math. So, but what is interesting is that it has currently been as long as 4 to 5's teaser, 5's original teaser, as it has been from Royal to now, if that makes sense.
Oh.
So it's the same amount of time. So people are expecting them to tease 6 like immediately, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
They are not anywhere close.
Yeah, you're being realistic.
The final announcement will be a tease, and the original tease for Persona 5 was nothing more than just revealing that, hey, this is Persona 5, and it was an image with 5 or 6 chairs or whatever, and just the text said, "You are a slave, want emancipation." So they will not say anything about what the game actually is. At best, we will get a color. That is the most information that we will get about Persona 6.
So really, the timing for this 25th anniversary thing is not the greatest. You know, just as far as like where they are in development of things and what they have to potentially like come out with.
Possibly not. It depends on the rest of these announcements.
Yeah.
So they're leaning heavily into like all of this artwork, showing all 5 protagonists, and actually all 6 if you count the female Persona 3 protagonist from Persona 3 Portable, because she often gets left out. Actually, I guess it's 7 if you count Persona 2 twice. And this is important for a few reasons. The main one being that the original 2 games often get tossed to the wayside because they are not the modern iterations of Persona. And for those that don't know Persona, what that means is modern Persona starts with 3, and that is the game that introduced social links, and sort of the modern taking inspiration from the press turn system from SMT Nocturne, and going through that sort of using the J-pop music, going for this distinctive color-based art style. So the fact that they're including the protagonists of 1 and 2, both games in the 2 series, is a pretty significant deal, because they usually ignore those games in favor of modern Persona.
Interesting.
So one of my speculations is that, and this is a lot of hoping. This is a lot of hope, is that there will be a sort of Persona Classics collection of Persona 1 and both games in the Persona 2 series, that'll be released on PC. I have a really good feeling about that. And my reasoning is that they're showing off these protagonists, and my other reason is that Persona 4 Golden on PC did insanely well. It did even better than they expected. And so now PC is suddenly a viable avenue for Persona games and Persona ports specifically. And the only way to access these older Persona games legally is on PSP and PS1 classics. So there is not a true definitive way to play them. So like the first Persona got a remaster for the PSP with an updated localization, some balance changes, updated music, some updated artwork, things like that. But that only came out for the PSP, and that was like in 2011, I believe. Persona 2 is a different story. So Persona 2 is split into two games, Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. Now, that game got Innocent Sin was remastered for PSP and got a Western localization. But Eternal Punishment didn't. So it was remastered for PSP as well in Japan, but it never received an English localization. So the only way to play Eternal Punishment is on PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I mean, this all makes a lot of sense. And then you add the fact that this industry loves re-releases and remasters and remakes.
Yeah. It just seems to make a lot of sense. Now, could they all sell them separately, as we're seeing with like Square doing their pixel remasters for way too much money? Sure. But I think it makes a lot of sense to bundle these together, especially because Persona 2 takes place in the same world as Persona 1. Like, they're not direct sequels, but they kind of are. Like, there are characters that overlap.
And isn't that the only case where that's happened in the series?
Yeah, so there are Easter eggs in the other ones where that's like it's heavily hinted that they take place in the same world. Like you can see Rise from Persona 4 on posters in Persona 5, and there are like mentions of the older characters on the news in Persona 5, things like that.
Okay.
But in Persona 2, there are characters that from Persona 1 that actually just show up. So that is the only case where that happens, aside from fan service spin-offs. So the other thing that I think is potentially more possible is a remastered version of Persona 3, an HD version of Persona 3. Sort of a definitive version of Persona 3. Because Persona 3 doesn't have a definitive version.
It came out originally on PSP, right?
No. Persona 3 came out originally on PS2.
Oh.
It got a enhanced portable version for PSP.
Oh, gotcha. That's what I was thinking of.
Which included the female protagonist, different social links, and the ability to directly control your teammates. So in the original Persona 3, your teammates are controlled by the AI, and you can only kind of control their tactics. But other than that, they do shit on their own. That was fixed in Persona 3 Portable. But But at the same time, Persona 3 on PS2 received the FES expansion, which concludes the story, and Persona 3 Portable didn't get that.
Oh, wow.
Also, Persona 3 Portable, the exploration of the world that isn't in dungeons is 2D, whereas it wasn't in the original.
Just because of like hardware limitations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is no definitive Persona 3.
Interesting.
So I have a feeling that they will finally do that, combine the two games, make a Persona 3 based off of the original the original game, just like updated HD version that includes the female protagonist, that includes FES, that has tweaks like direct control over teammates. It has all the extra social links, updated music. And I think this is much more likely, given these are separate teams. These are separate teams at Atlas, but given that we just got the Nocturne remaster, and that was around the same time. And they used a similar engine for that. Nocturne was 2003, and Persona 3 was 2006, and they were using similar technology, like the similar Cryware engine. And Nocturne, the remaster, they ported everything to Unity. So I have a feeling that's what they're going to do for Persona 3. Is just the same conversion.
Yeah.
A lot of people seem to think that for the dancing games, they had to make models for the Persona 3 casts, in HD, and like they made locations from Persona 3 updated in HD like that. But that's like a completely different art style, and also that would be a complete remake from the ground up for Persona 3, and I don't think it's going to get that treatment.
Yeah.
It's way more work, and that would be like making a new game completely. So I don't think that's going to happen. But I think a remaster that just includes everything is much more likely. And I think this because they are including the female protagonist in all of this art, like, promotional artwork. And she would usually get ignored, and that was the case until Persona Q2 came out, where she was included in that. So things have been changing on that front. So those are like my big predictions for some of these announcements. 'Cause there's like a total of 7? It says 7 announcements.
I mean, it all makes too much sense. I would put my money on at least one of your two predictions being true. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think if the easier one would be the Persona Classics.
Yeah,
because that's just straight ports, and then the hardest work would be localizing Eternal Punishment, because that was never done before. But yeah, I agree. I think one of those two will happen. I don't think both. But I'm trying to, because I'm trying to find the total number of announcements.
So what is it like? Are they averaging like one every 2 months or so?
I believe so.
Over the course of a full calendar year?
Okay, yeah, there are 7. Yeah, so it's like one every couple months, starting next month in September. But then, yeah, it's like, so then are there going to be some big announcements, like some remasters of games people really want to see? Or are they just going to fill it with mobile games from developers nobody knows, that nobody wants. Like,
yeah, you'll know that you'll at least get like one or two of those. Hopefully it's not the majority of them.
Yeah. So, and then there's also stuff like there hasn't been a Persona 5 fighting game, you know. There might be Persona Q3, but that seems less likely to me. Just based on the diminishing returns of Persona Q2, and the fact that if they include the Persona 1 through 2 casts, it's like you already had like, I don't know, 40 characters in these crossovers, and now you're throwing in like 2 more games. It's like, I don't know. Maybe more scramble shit. Because you just have to think about like what they can give to other development teams, basically.
Yeah.
While they sort of just start working on Persona 6. But yeah, we will not see anything about Persona 6 for a very long time.
Yeah. Gotta keep your hopes realistic for that.
Oh, completely. Yeah. Yeah, I do not expect anything. If they surprise people and are like, hey, you know, like it's coming soon. Like I wouldn't trust it, honestly, because the director of the modern Persona games left the Persona team. Like, he's not working on Persona anymore. So he left after 5. He did not direct Royal. He's working on a separate team now. So like, things changed in the development team.
Yep.
So I would not expect.
And then there was, you know,
anything.
Pandemic and all sorts of things that
Right,
might have impacted timelines and stuff.
Yeah, and like this is a team. They do not. Do you know how many times Persona 5 was delayed? Like,
yeah,
we're not seeing that game anytime soon.
This console gen, though, right? Yeah, I mean, we're just at the very start. It has to be this console gen. I mean, that's like you're talking like 6-7 years probably.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They almost missed the PS3 generation.
That is true. They were right at the tail end of it.
So
it's very true.
I mean the situation was slightly different because they did make Catherine in between.
Right.
That's another point, actually, is that if they didn't do this code name X mobile whatever, I would say like don't expect them to announce any side project games from this team.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I don't know if they're gonna tease this mobile shit. It's like maybe they're like, hey, like you can't do that for like a Persona event. You know, it's like what do you expect the fans to want?
Yeah, sounds a little out of touch with what the expectations are.
And it's like, I don't know, maybe it's different. Like, for a Japanese fan base, maybe they'll eat that up. I don't know, but yeah,
you would play it though, right? Probably you'd at least try it.
Like, they couldn't even get me to stick with the SMT gacha. So
okay, fair.
I don't think. I don't think.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on.
Something to keep an eye on as the months go by.
Oh yeah. yeah, so that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And we love your feedback, even if it's automated and is trying to get me to click on a phishing link or something. You can send literally anything to video@deadendroad.co. Yeah, if you got a dating profile that you saw, some weirdo, or you saw some kind of Nazi out there, send me their dating profile.
If you need to call somebody out, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, seriously. Or if you want to get involved in some consensual race play, hit me up. Yeah, you can follow me everywhere at Dead End Road. Check out the Facebook page, Dead End Road. Oh, God, why do I always do it? Because I got to say Dead End Road like 8 million times. Facebook.com/DeadEndRoadTV. Twitch.com/DeadEndRoadTV. Check out the YouTube where I post archives of me playing Nocturne, sometimes silently because I didn't record the audio. Oh, don't even get me started. Don't even get... Oh. Because I started playing it off stream now because I'm like, I need this.
Yeah.
You know?
I figured that would happen.
But I felt so guilty about it that I still recorded the gameplay. But then I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this? I'm like, well, I could put it up. But it's like, but there's no commentary or anything. So it's just on my hard drive. I don't know. I got problems. So yeah, check out the YouTube. Just search Dead End Road. You'll get there. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff for next week. See, last week I screwed up the intro, and now I feel like I'm just beefing it on the outro.
It's
just totally whiffing.
It is a lot of different places that you can find your stuff, which is good, and you don't want to have it all under different names either.
No, it's literally all under Dead End Road. It's very consistent.
Like you could make this more interesting, the outro more interesting, but then it would be a lot more confusing to find your stuff. So
yeah, I did update the video.deadendroad.co website, so you can check that out if you want to catch up on some old episodes. Yeah, we did receive a bump in listenership. Who knew that having a consistent schedule would, get things moving?
Wait, is this the same bump that you told me about a couple weeks ago, or a different one?
No. This is a more recent bump.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Love to hear it.
I think it was starting with the Sexy Beasts episode. So.
Well,
yeah.
I made it a point not to have any reality TV on this episode, and we will have to see if the numbers reflect.
And yeah, maybe the analytics for me just explaining the Persona 2 duology will. But seriously, if anybody is listening and gives a shit whatsoever, comments, criticisms, concerns, what you like, what you don't like, literally anything, you can send it. You don't have to. You can be anonymous. You can email it. You could tweet it at me. Put it in the YouTube comments. Make a burner.
Okay, well, don't
carrier pigeon.
Don't pressure the people into. You can just lurk if you want to lurk too.
I mean, yeah. I'm the biggest lurker there is, but if there's something you don't want to hear about. If the dating segment sucks, if you want to hear me read more spam email, anything.
Yeah, feedback would be nice.
Yes, I want to know if this is working, if it's not working, if people if I'm seeing downloads, okay? And I want to know if people are actually listening or what the case is, because it's confusing to me. So, yeah.
We can't maintain it up if we don't get the proper amount of feedback.
We need to maintain it up. We have fun. We have fun here, because I feel like we do this if nobody listened, because it seems like nobody's listening.
I mean, you don't know how happy I would be if somebody requested episode 3 breakdown of Sexy Beasts. Like, I'd be there. I'd be there for it.
Yeah. Like, because the thing is that I would have to hear it twice. That's the only downside, is that I'd have to hear it twice. Is all, because I have to edit this.
Yeah, I never take that into account. I always forget that that's a thing you have to do.
Yeah. But that's the other thing, is that like I will be editing the show and like I don't have a bad time editing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I feel like that's a good sign, right?
Sure.
I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
If I was like, oh, this sucks, and like I gotta cut all this shit, you know? I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah, you just cut out entire hockey segments. That's all you do.
Well, sure, yeah. Well, I feel like that's for the benefit of
everyone
and the runtime. That episode would have been over 2 hours, I think.
Yeah.
If I included the hockey.
Yeah, we were definitely verging on it. Yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah. So any kind of feedback, anything. Yeah. I should stop because I'll just keep going.
Oh yeah, this is all still the outro.
This is the outro. We're in it, and we're trailing off.
It's funny. You're like, should we end early?
I know. I just spent 10 minutes doing the outro. That's how you ruin engagement right there. All right. I'm gonna stop recording. I have to stop. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna stop as well. Under an hour and a half, which is good.